City of Windhoek secures $155 million loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, political analyst urges Education Ministry to prioritize research. Dane Sieva Medical Centre launches free medical services campaign. LPM seminar to assess education setbacks. Zambezi women trains farmers in conservation agriculture. And Business on One comments corner, sport and the weather. Political analyst Ndumba Kamwanya say that the crisis in the education system is caused by lack of evidence-based solutions and recommendations, further adding that the ministry officials tend to implement policies they assume will bring change without conducting thorough research. Kamwanya made these remarks at the LPM Planning Retreat Conference last Friday.
Kamwanya stated that the recommendations in the report on the outcomes of the meeting between the top leadership of the Ministry of Education with the head of state, President Hage Geingob, lacks potential to solve the current challenges facing the education sector. Kamwanya further added that education officials must prioritize research to validate policy solutions.
That outcomes, when I looked at what they have listed, there is no shred of evidence that it will solve our educational problems. So I think we need to move towards where we do research so that we can base our policy solutions on evidence in terms of what will work and what will not work. I think that's where we have gone wrong, in the sense that we tend to implement things that we think will work, but they are, in actual reality, they are not contributing to the solutions of what we are trying to solve. That could be also one component that can be explored. And if we have evidence that it will motivate and incentivize the principals to deliver, then why not? Let's implement it.
Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture Executive Director Sanet Steenkamp responded to Kamwanya's remarks, stating that the ministry has not neglected its mandate.
I can only declare to you that we continue to serve this country to the best of our abilities and within our mandate of the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture. For me, that is purely an opinion, and we as a Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture has never neglect our mandate or our duties. So if the political analyst, he is free to contact me and to get the context of what His Excellency is saying. I would be very interested to hear on which basis the political analyst is making this. It doesn't help I make a comment if he does not give any supportive evidence as to, or facts as to what he based his opinion on.
Trade Union Congress of Namibia and Student Union of Namibia are among stakeholders who have raised concerns over the poor results and status of the education sector.
There are data deals, and then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial *130*780# and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding that. T's and C's apply.
Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
The Dune 7 Medical Centre at Walvis Bay has launched a free community services medical campaign last week. The campaign is aimed at conducting free medical checkups, HIV tests, blood tests, pap smears, medical counselling, including medical treatment, to about 50,000 community members and patients countrywide.
At the campaign launch, the founder of Dune 7 Medical Centre, Dr. Eliphas Shapumba, expressed satisfaction with the first campaign, which had already taken place at Dune's Mall. The centre will be visiting towns that do not have proper hospitals or healthcare information centres.
Ladies and gentlemen, being one of the youngest doctors in the community and coming from a humble village in the northern part of the country with little information about health and medication-related matters, I was driving to do medicine after I witnessed the sickness of my uncle when I was just 8 years old. As nothing was done to help him due to lack of medical services in the community. Coming up with this campaign is part of my social responsibility to give back to the community, aiming to create medical awareness among community members and to reach out to many community members as possible. And during the campaign, we have received a total number of 587, of which 382 are female and 205 were male. The number of HIV tests were 304, hemoglobin tests were 348, and the cholesterol 322, blood pressure 458, hemoglobin test 348, and pregnant test 52, free treatment 209, and the specialist referral 41, and the free files opening of 144.
Walvis Bay Mayor Trevino Forbes commended the centre for thinking about those who cannot afford medical services. Regional campaigns will be conducted from April in selected towns such as Uis, Henties Bay, Usakos, Otavi, Opuo, Otapi and Aranos.
The current situation that our public health facilities are in and how expensive the private health sector is. This kind of initiatives, a first of its kind in Walvis Bay, are highly welcome and appreciated by the Council. Dr. Shapumba, you and your team's efforts to ensure that the community of Walvis Bay get the following: free blood tests, free counselling, free pregnancy tests, as well as free medical treatment, is a sign of your commitment to building a healthy community. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the management of Dunes Mall and the owner of Dunes Mall Pharmacy for coming on board during the first phase of this campaign. I can assure you, your contribution of a venue, testing equipment, consulting room, and the operation that took place from 9 to 14 January went a long way in Deelseven Medical Center getting the statistic they required, as well as for them making informed decisions to continue with the campaign and in its future expansions to other regions.
The second edition of the campaign will be conducted in the second week of February. It will target all old age homes in Walfish Bay and is sponsored by WestMed. The third campaign will be held in March, will target orphanages, daycare centers and some selected schools around Walfish Bay for 1 week. The campaign will create health awareness among the youth and school-going children.
The Landless People's Movement will host a seminar tomorrow to address challenges facing secondary education. This comes after only 8,133 learners out of 38,019 candidates who sat for national examinations qualified for tertiary education.
The event that will take place at Arabush Travel Lodge in Windhoek will bring together various key players in education, which include the Teachers Union of Namibia, school principals, and the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, amongst others. The lead youth commander of LPM, Tuminga Dala, stated that last year's results were the most devastating results that the country has ever produced. She explained that it is important to look at the factors that led to the low performance.
The reason why we decided to convene this education summit is to sort of respond to the education crisis in the country. We all know that the results that were produced, they are the most devastating results as a country. So as a political party, we thought that we should also bring our part, which is to sort of deliberate on the issues that are affecting the education sector and how we can best provide solutions to transform the education sector. Obviously, there are a lot of factors that are involved. It has to do with the fact that a lot of students did not have access to reading material. We all know that we have adopted a new curriculum that is very controversial and that does not speak to the reality of our education sector in the country. I think reading material is one of the challenges that a lot of learners were complaining that they do not have access to that. And also a lot of teachers are not trained within the new curriculum. So there is sort of a gap between the curriculum that is being implemented and what the teachers know and what is expected of them. And if we can perhaps expand to the challenges, one would also say access to technological means. I think COVID-19 is also a contributing factor to that. We know that COVID-19 has also revealed the digital gap between the rich and the poor.
Dala also appealed to the President, Hagen Geingob, and Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, Anna Hipondoka, to have an open-door policy with regards to the outcome of the seminar's proposal.
So we are really appealing for them to have an open door policy, for them to read and to analyze the deliberations from the seminar, so that they can also implement some of these things. Because I think the education sector should just not be left to the ministry alone, but it should involve all key players, and that is what we are trying to do as a political party.
Dala further stated that the reflections from the seminar will be compiled into a document and submitted to the President and the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture for consideration.
You know, you're a young kid, right? For me, I started writing music when I was 9.
I don't like going into something. See, when I came in the music industry, I didn't want to lose.
A female farmer from Kasheshe village in the Zambezi region believes it is time to impart her skills on conservation agriculture to other farmers in the area after practicing for the past 5 years.
A member of the Lekwama Regional Farmers Union situated at Kasheshe, Jennifer Sitavi, began training fellow farmers in her area in conservation agriculture early this year. Sitavi stated that she currently has 10 farmers participating in the training, as the rainy season is the ideal time to demonstrate the convenience of this type of farming.
I'm having 10 farmers, which I'm training CA conservation agriculture. Conservation agriculture is a new technique of farming which can be used by farmers, where you can find a good harvest. Because in this type of farming, we are receiving the little rains, but if we are using the reaping, even when the rain is raining, at least the water will be standing in the rains. From there, I'm now a teacher for the farmers. I've been getting a training for farmers in agriculture up to now. I've been learning this type of agriculture farming. If you use these principles of farming, soil erosion, minimum soil disturbance, pavement soil cover, intercrop, and crop rotation. This type of farming, this one was to save the type of the soil to be good. Even this time of the rain season, we should use the CA. But this, so we can probably 1 hectare, but you can harvest, you can have a good harvest. Therefore, I'm asking farmers, we should involve ourselves in CA farming activity. Now here at Kasheshe, we are teaching 10 people so that they can teach others. So others, where they are, we can join them.
One of the farmers, Anushka Muya, who is currently working with Sitavi, explained that so far she discovered that conservation agriculture is a simpler way to farm, as it is less costly and less labor intensive.
We are here for learning about CA, stands for conservation agriculture. This CA, it's very important, it's very good. So you find this type of farming is done in 2 different types. You find they plant different types of crops in the same field. The different sites, you can plant the maize in the same area. You also plant the groundnuts and the peas.
The 2 farmers urged fellow farmers to be open to new ways of farming, such as conservation agriculture, and that hopefully the current trainees will go on to share knowledge with other farmers in the future.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The Business and Intellectual Property Authority, BIPA, has launched the #ScamWise campaign aimed at creating awareness of fraudulent activities related to business registration and annual duties payment. According to BIPA, it has recently discovered fraud and corrupt practices involving third parties who operate and register businesses on behalf of others. With the campaign, BIPA is encouraging members of the public to check the legitimacy of such agents and consultants with BIPA.
It is entitled Be Scamwise, and this campaign is aimed at heightening awareness to business owners and potential business owners, as well as to the internal staff, on the types of fraudulent activities that may occur during business registration. So the type of activities that we came across, there are quite a few. Some relate, for instance, and I think that the largest one relates to impersonation, where an individual would impersonate a BIPA employee, especially in the regions. They would go unauthorized to individuals, collect money from them and promise them business registration. They would then forge documents and provide this to their so-called clients, just for the clients to find out that these documents or these businesses are actually not registered whenever they want to do amendments. Other fraudulent activities relate to the issuing of fraudulent and forged accounting letters, where individuals that are not registered accountants would then in fact issue some of these accounting letters. People would pay for it, and when it comes to the businesses being registered, it would then be turned down because these accountants are not on the approved list of registered accountants with the various bodies. Some also, for instance, relate to fraudulent amendments, and this is a big one where individuals or a group of individuals would come and they would amend an entity without the required permission from all other members or shareholders. And this is sometimes when there's conflict within a business, and then these amendments are done fraudulently. So more information is available for the public. We've launched this in all newspapers, so you'll be able to see over the next few weeks. There are strips in the newspapers as it relates to the type of fraud, how you can report it. You can also visit BIPA Namibia's social media pages, that's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can also visit our website. Alternatively, you can contact BIPA at 299-4433, and we'll gladly assist you as to more information on the fraud awareness campaign.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on business news.
More male clients actually getting the manicures and pedicures and facials done.
There were times where there was pressure.
I sometimes feel like I'm getting paid for doing nothing because I love what I do so much.
Not everybody's going to do it through the schooling system.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The Popular Democratic Movement leader McHenry Vanani has called on President Hage Geingoob's intervention to cancel the $650 million tender for the supply and delivery of clinical products. Vanani stated that should Geingob fail to take action on the tender, PDM will be forced to take legal action in the public's interest. Hautele said the same opposition leader had promised to take legal action after the disappearance of the $600 million GIPA funds. Hadula agrees that the tender should be cancelled, but pointed out that there are South African companies operating in Namibia. Faye said Namibians need the condoms. Tuafeni noted that Vanani is correct in saying that there is no critical medicine in hospitals. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage on our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One.
Husna Kukundakwe was the youngest athlete at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. The teenager hopes her confidence and her resilience will inspire young people across the continent to follow their dreams.
My name is Husna Kukundakwe. I'm 14 years old. I am a para swimmer and a I first started swimming, just playing around in the pool at the age of 3. But I started professional swimming at the age of 12.
Time now for sport on One. The Kadilo Fishing Company has boosted the education of young boxers with a donation of stationery at the coastal town of Walvis Bay. The gesture aims to assist parents of the young boxers from the Quisepmund community that are trained by Bernardo Boxing Academy.
The Kadilo Fishing Company's donation is valued at 20,000 Namibian dollars for young boxers training at the Quisepmund Hall. The founder of Bernardo Boxing Academy, Bernardo Chivera, explained to Sport on One why he started the Boxing Academy for young boxers.
We actually started with maybe 15 kids. And sometimes when these 15 kids go home, they go and tell each other that let's go to the gym. Our coach is Bernardo. He used to help us A, B, C, D, and that's how I come to this certain amount. So each and every January, we are following their school works and monitoring their school reports, how they are improving in school and motivating them to do their school works. Bernardo Boxing is not only training the boys boxing, but also looking into their future.
The Kadilo Fishing Company has been assisting the Boxing Academy over 2 years with training equipment and uniform, among others, after finding the group training in the old compound at Quisepmund without necessary equipment. Sport on One caught up with one of the young boxers.
I've learned how to stand up for myself. I've learned to motivate myself. I've learned to be inspired. And he has taught me to be a good person. We must love each other. You must be strong, work hard, be determined, you must be motivated, you must be strong, you must believe in yourself.
Meanwhile, in the capital, the restaurant John Doris has sponsored Tura Magic Football Club with pre-match gear with the aim to improve team spirit, among others. The sponsorship deal, which includes pre-match meals, will only be for the first-team players and will continue until the end of the season.
At this particular point, we can't really get into obviously the financial side of it. We don't obviously have all the numbers now. We're also looking to do fan engagement. We'll obviously be at the stadium as John Doris. Obviously try and see how we can get the fans to the stadium by obviously offering vouchers and whatever it is that we can obviously help to have more fans come to the stadiums, because the more fans that come to the stadiums, the more money the teams can get as well.
It's not every day where a team from the other side of town get a sponsor from this side of town. We are very grateful for that. And for me, I think the pre-match meal is a very critical element of any sports industry, because you need to eat healthy, you need to eat the right food so that your body can be properly prepared. And I think John Dory really, with their menu, I think they are perfect for that. It also gives the players also an opportunity to know that apart from our normal traditional food, there's also something else that you can help to build your body up. And of course, like the captain said, the step-out gear is critical and very important, because the way you look makes you feel better, and that creates a lot of confidence on the field of play.
That is all the sport news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast.